Hi, my name is Jamie Strickland. The cognitive challenge I chose to cover was academic burnout among college students. This is a challenge many of us have either faced in the past or may be facing now. Over the next few slides, I will introduce the topic, provide theoretical insight into the causes and impacts, and what a student can do to prevent falling into academic burnout. Academic burnout is a cognitive challenge that affects educational success and the mental well-being of college students. It is defined by persistent stress induced by the student's perception of inaccessible resources and excessive expectations, which leads to fatigue, negativity, and reduced motivation. If prolonged, academic burnout can contribute to weakened academic performance, diminished achievement, and potentially dropout. Burnout is characterized by extreme emotional fatigue, emotional disengagement, and reduced self efficacy. Students experiencing burnout are more likely to deal with depression, anxiety, decreased motivation, and low self esteem. The following slides will expand on each of the 5 academic studies included in my annotated bibliography. Each study was relevant to understanding how academic burnout develops, potential ways to avoid it, and provided a theoretical basis for the development of a successful intervention strategy. In the first study, researchers sought to determine the relationship between self-efficacy and academic burnout. The study found that the higher a student's self-efficacy was, the lower the chance of developing academic burnout. Albert Bandura defines self-efficacy as an individual's personal sense of competence, capability, and effectiveness. A student's self-efficacy influences their level of engagement, their ability to persevere through hardship, their flexibility, and their determination to succeed. The study found that students with higher self-efficacy will look at their circumstances more objectively, be more effective at overcoming obstacles, and maintain a better attitude. Students with higher self-efficacy tend to accept more challenging tasks, devote more effort, and show greater perseverance. The study found intrinsic motivation to be a mediating factor that affects the development of academic burnout. Students with strong intrinsic motivation exhibit optimism and perseverance. Students with weak intrinsic motivation tend to be less committed to learning and present a low confidence in personal achievement, which could potentially lead to academic burnout. The next academic study explored the relationship between need satisfaction, well-being, and academic burnout. Leaning on the theory of self-determination, this study aimed to evaluate the effect of meeting the basic psychological needs of competence, relatedness, and autonomy on student well-being. Researchers conducted the study during the COVID-19 pandemic and presented the results as representative of learning through hardship. The findings indicated student well-being was enhanced by improvement to students' feelings of competence and autonomy. Self-determination is defined by the basic need to overcome obstacles competently, the autonomous freedom to seek out personal needs, pursuits, and principles, and have close connections. Students who feel they are capably meeting the expectations of their academic program are fulfilling the need of competency. Students who are self-motivated and determined to complete their work are expressing their autonomy. Students feel supported when they are positively connected with peers or instructors. This study shows that meeting the needs in self-determination theory can improve overall well-being in stressful circumstances and is beneficial to reducing the development of academic burnout. The next academic study explored the role of mindfulness in mediating between metacognition and academic burnout. Researchers found students' maladaptive metacognitive function reduced psychological well-being and led to the development of academic burnout. They found students developed anxiety, depression, negative attitudes, and the inability to manage stress when their metacognitions became dysfunctional. Mindfulness is defined as a purposeful attention to the present moment. It fosters positive emotional adjustment, increases effective coping mechanisms, and aids in the development of healthy cognitive processes. Researchers found the enhancement of mindfulness protects the individual from those emotional traps and serves as a barrier against academic burnout. In this study, researchers sought to discover the role student engagement had on academic burnout. Academic engagement is defined as the commitment of time and effort to academic pursuits and participation in classes, meetings, or activities associated with the university. Researchers found that students that are more engaged in the academic process produce higher academic achievement, tend to be more motivated and determined, and experience less academic burnout. This study found interaction to be the most impactful element in improving student engagement. Interaction involves student participation in learning experiences, communication with peers and professors, and class structure that directly involves students in the academic process. Researchers of this study were exploring the effectiveness of participation in group counseling to address the negative impacts of burnout. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a therapy strategy focused on helping an individual improve their situational perception and acknowledge any negative thoughts hindering their academic success. The study found a counseling program structured in cognitive behavioral therapy can help individuals improve their thought processes and develop strategies to overcome cognitive distortions. Cognitive behavioral therapy has been shown to help students increase their self-confidence and develop better coping skills. Research indicates an effective intervention plan for academic burnout would be comprised of several key goals and objectives. The intervention should foster internal motivation and self-confidence, support students' sense of academic freedom, and encourage students to build supportive associations. It is also important to include elements that enhance metacognitive processes by concentrating on mindfulness strategies. An effective intervention should also include strategies to encourage students to engage in their personal academic process. The proposed intervention plan would be implemented over the course of a 9-week period, which coincides with a master's level short term. The target population is adult college students. Combining cognitive principles and psychological strategies, the intervention plan would focus on preventing academic burnout, but would also aid in helping students readjust if they are already experiencing difficulties. To begin with, students would complete an assessment period to identify their current mental condition. Students presenting with signs of academic burnout would be encouraged to participate in a group counseling program along with the other prevention techniques. Students would be encouraged to prioritize self-care and minimize stress. Eating a proper diet and getting exercise can improve physical and mental health, which decreases the possibility of developing academic burnout. Time management should be a priority along with focus on academic goals. Academic achievement is improved when students are more engaged with their personal academic program by asking questions, teamwork, and open discussion. Students should also utilize support and resources through the university, such as tutoring, library, writing aids, advisors, and counseling services. Students should chart and review their daily well-being, looking for areas where thought processes need adjustment. Regular check-ins with supportive personnel would be key. Improvements in attitude, self-confidence, participation, and grades would all be good indicators the intervention plan is working. In line with current research, the proposed intervention would be based on several cognitive principles. Self-efficacy is a key component of social cognitive theory developed by Alfred Bandura. Cultivating students' confidence in themselves and their abilities promotes student effort, engagement, and achievement. Cognitive appraisal theory states that the way a person perceives their experiences influences the way they respond emotionally. Self-determination theory is related to this principle. In reference to academic burnout, when students' needs for autonomy, competence, and relatedness are met, they have a better perception of their academic experience and therefore present a better emotional response. Cognitive load theory states an individual will experience burnout when confronted with stress and pressure beyond their coping ability. By definition, cognitive load theory is related to the description of academic burnout. Utilizing mindfulness strategies can help shield against academic stress and pressures by promoting personal wellness and well-being. In relation to college students, intrinsic motivation states students will be more likely to engage in the academic process if they are interested and find enjoyment in the process. This personal internal motivation drives students to make inquiries, get feedback from peers and professors, strive toward academic mastery, and participate in the academic process. If an intervention plan is structured correctly, students should see improvement in their self-confidence toward school, engagement in their classes, participation in university resources, their physical and mental health, and ultimately their academic performance. An intervention plan for academic burnout should not be one-sided. Involvement from educators, the school, and peers is also important. Stress for adult college students comes from a lot of different angles, especially those that work, have families, and also go to school. Even if a student is doing everything they can to prevent academic burnout, it will remain a significant concern if the university or professors are not mindful of the pressures their expectations place on their students. To this end, open communication, quick response, and understanding from professors could go a long way to help a student suffering from academic burnout. Reflecting on the learning experience from this project, each part was an opportunity for different areas of development. The annotated bibliography was a new experience for me. Although I've written numerous papers, I've never had to do an annotated bibliography before. I found it was a great way to focus the research, summarize relevant information, and aided in writing the full paper. Research and writing encourage critical thinking. In this project, I was researching the causes, impacts, treatments, and prevention strategies for academic burnout. I also looked into theories associated with this cognitive challenge in order to build an intervention strategy that would be successful. Putting together a PowerPoint is a lesson in organization of information, but also in creating a neat and professional presentation. In conclusion, academic burnout is a cognitive challenge affecting adult college students. The best strategy to address academic burnout is to focus on prevention. Students can take several steps to avoid developing the stress and discontent associated with this cognitive challenge. 1. Prioritize self-care. Get adequate sleep, eat a proper diet, and exercise. 2. Minimize stress. 3. Improve time management. 4. Focus on academic goals. 5. Engage with instructors and classmates. 6. Participate in the class structure. 7. Utilize any available student resources provided by the university. And 8. Counseling. This is important whether a student is trying to avoid developing academic burnout or if they are already suffering from it. Troy University makes counseling services available to their students as an academic resource. Lastly, academic burnout should be addressed from both sides. In my personal experience, academic stress is greatly improved when the professor is engaged in the class as well. Internet classes can make it difficult for students to feel supported. A successful strategy to address academic burnout among adult college students would work to improve student support by engaging both sides in the process. The references for this PowerPoint presentation are included here. Thank you for your time and attention.